high-profile Bandra East constituency is witnessing a fierce three-way fight between Ajit Pawar's NCP, Uddhav Shiv Sena and Raj Thakre's MNS. This election comes just little over a month after the murder of one of the most high-profile politicians from Mumbai. Baba Siddiqui, NCP leader and former Maharashtra minister, was among the most influential politicians from this part of Mumbai and the one who had deep links with the film industry. He is also the same man who is believed to have brokered truce between actors Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan during one of his iftar parties. The murder of the senior NCP Neta has put the focus once again on the law and order situation in Maharashtra ahead of the assembly polls. The murder of Baba Siddiqui shocked the political corridors in Maharashtra. But many wonder whether this incident could lead to a sympathy wave that will power Zishan Siddiqui to yet another victory from the Bandra East constituency.
High-rise apartments surrounded by the slums. In one frame, you can see the contrast on ground in the Bandra East constituency. The Bandra East constituency historically is a Sena stronghold. Trupti Sawant's late husband Bala Sawant used to represent this constituency on a Shiv Sena ticket till 2019. In 2019, the Shiv Sena chose Vishwanath Mahadeshwar over Trupti Sawant. She ran as an independent and her rebellion led to division of votes. That's what many experts believe, that the split in the votes helped Zishan Siddiqui, who won the elections from the Bandra East constituency on a Congress ticket in 2019. Trupti Sawant is once again in the poll fray. Will that lead to division of votes? Will it once again benefit Zishan Siddiqui, who is now contesting as the NCP candidate, or will the sympathy factor be the biggest contributor? Alright, we are now joined by Zishan Siddiqui. Zishan, how are you doing after what you've gone through? This is your first election without your father.
This is the first Padyatra we're doing today in our campaign. It feels very different, but you have to do what you have to do, and it's my father's dream. It has always been my father's dream for me to win this election again, and for the people of my constituency, Bandra East. I have to be strong and I have to move forward, and that's what I'm doing.
Are you missing his guidance, especially during this crucial hour?
Of course, I'm missing his guidance at every moment in life, not only politically but very personally as well. But yeah, he's always taught me to fight, and that's what I'm doing. Many people thought that I wouldn't be out campaigning, but this is an answer for all of them who thought that I wouldn't be out campaigning. I'm right here. I'm right where I had left off, and I'm here to stay.
Surrounded by so many people, one can feel the love that they have for you. Are you a little bit nervous or scared anywhere down the line to step out?
See, I've always said that if once you lose the most essential part of your life, something that is most valuable to me, like my father is the most valuable person to me in my life. And once I've lost him fighting, while he was fighting for people and fighting for their rights, it's a part of me has gone with him, and I feel like I'm not scared. People's love is with me, their prayers are with me, and I'm moving forward to continue the fight that my father has been fighting.
Constituency houses Bandra Kurla Complex and Matoshri, residents of the Thakres that was once a power hub in the politics of Maharashtra when Bal Thakre held the reins of the undivided Shiv Sena. Contesting from Bandra East constituency on the UBT ticket is their own Varun Sardesai, who's projecting himself as an educated leader. Double graduate, no criminal records and accessible. We spoke to Varun Sardesai on his fight against Zishan Siddiqui in this constituency and a lot of other issues as well. Take a look.
For the Shiv Sena UBT, it's not only a battle against Zishan Siddiqui and the sympathy votes in his favor, but also the clout of Trupti Sawant of the MNS. The 33% Muslim vote may also not do much for Varun Sardesai in his battle against Zishan Siddiqui. So will this Bandra East constituency go with the Mahayuti, or can Varun Sardesai and Aghadi pull off an upset?
This is your electoral debut. How confident are you?
I'm very confident because this whole constituency has been Shiv Sena bastion. This constituency also has the residence of Hindu Hriday Samrat, Shiva Sena Pramukh Balasaheb Thackeray ji. Now our party president Uddhav Thackeray Sahab resides there. So there is a very large section of citizens, of residents who have been consistently showering their love on Shiv Sena. And the second biggest party in this constituency has predominantly been Congress. So now that in MVA Shiv Sena and Congress are together, I'm very confident of a victory by a huge margin.
Would you call it a three-way fight with Zishan and Trupti Sawant both in the fray?
No, I mean, I wouldn't call it a three-way fight. I think there are some other independents also contesting. There are 10 to 12 people contesting. And I think in democracy, everyone has a right to contest. So I don't consider any one single person or any two people as my competition. I think everyone is going out to voters. They're trying to showcase what work they have done. They're trying to showcase their vision. And I'm sure the voters are smart enough to decide.
People are also saying that this is also a fight between the dynasts, people who belong to the political families. How do you counter that?
No, see, I mean, I think that argument would have been valid if I would have not been a part of politics for so long. I think every Shiv Sainik knows me very well, and more importantly, I think my opponents and my detractors know me much more. So I have worked with all of these guys for so long, and I think every shakha in this constituency have been for so many years that all these people I think are a part of my family. I don't consider myself as a dynast, and I think you can call me a dynast if like being a part of family of Shiv Sainiks is being called a dynast, because I'm one of them. So it's fine. I mean, they have to say something about me. So I think this is the only thing they can.
In today's episode of Election Yatra, our focus is on the heating debate on the Common Minorities Program, a demand made by Samajwadi Party MLA Rais Sheikh, who's contesting from the Bhiwandi East constituency. Will the MVA incorporate that demand? What does it mean for MVA in Maharashtra? What does the current political landscape for Muslims in Maharashtra say? Let's find out.
With just weeks left for the crucial polls, both sides are pulling out all the stops to woo the voters of Maharashtra. The Mahayuti announced its own set of 10 guarantees for the people of the state, which includes a hike in the monthly support for women and senior citizens, financial aid to farmers, and also tuition aid to students. The constituents of the Maha Vikas Aghadi is coming up with their own set of manifestos. But the most contentious suggestion came in from the Samajwadi Party, who suggested for a quote-unquote common minority program. It's important to note that about 15 seats in Maharashtra have a population comprising of over 30% Muslims, meaning these are some seats that the Aghadi could be keenly fighting on.
The assembly elections in Maharashtra are happening just 6 months after the Lok Sabha polls. Many believe that the consolidation of the Ambedkarite votes and the Muslim votes helped the MVA win 30 out of the 48 Lok Sabha seats. Now, out of the 288 assembly constituencies in Maharashtra, there are at least 38 assembly constituencies where the Muslim population is at least 20%. And one such assembly constituency is Bhiwandi, from where we are reporting today. We're now joined by Mr. Rais Sheikh. He is the Samajwadi Party sitting MLA as well as a candidate from Bhiwandi East. Thank you very much for joining us. What has made this battle even more interesting and exciting is the letter you wrote to Prithviraj Chavan, asking the MVA to incorporate some issues of the minorities, the Common Minorities Program. But your opponents are questioning the timing of that. How do you respond?
See, the opponents want to find loopholes in our campaign, and they are picking up this point because they have nothing else to talk. Now, if you read my letter, it is very clear. We want to strengthen the MVA. We want to strengthen the India Alliance. What I'm talking about is a rational demand of the community, What we want today, we want jobs, we want education and scholarship. Our power loom industry, this city of Bhiwandi, Malegaon, these cities basically are minority dominated. Most of us are engaged in the business of textile, fabric, weaving. What are we asking? We are asking support for that. And if these things are included in the manifesto of the Mahavikas Aghadi, today Mahavikas Aghadi core voters are Dalits, tribals, Muslims, all the bunches, all the deprived communities. So this is a simple letter, and last time in the Lok Sabha election also I had written the same letter. It is a rational demand from the community. What's so wrong about it?
The Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Mr. Eknath Shinde, is also known as the protege of the late firebrand Neta Anand Dighe. He's contesting from his traditional seat, but what has made the battle even more interesting is the UBT's choice of candidate. Now, the UBT has fielded Mr. Kedar Dighe, the nephew of Anand Dighe, as their candidate from this constituency of the Chief Minister, which is Kopri Pakhadi. Now, it's also going to be about the legacy of Anand Dighe here, at least in Thane. Will Kedar Dighe be the giant killer? Let's talk to him and find out about his campaign, how it's going, and about this huge challenge that he is facing. Mr. Dighe, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
This is your electoral debut, and directly you've been pitted against the Chief Minister. How confident are you?
Very much confident. See, I mean, these are the blessings of late Balasaheb Thackeray and Dighe Sahab, and the trust that Uddhav Sahab and Aditya Sahab, as well as all the party workers, all my colleagues, that they have been trusting me for past 3 years, post the position that I have been there for as a Thane district. So that's the reason I'm very much comfortable, and I really trust the people of Thane. This contest will be, this fight will be against just the thing of sake of saying that we have done a development, against what the actual development means. So let's see how it goes. Someone himself telling that I am the follower or the legal hire of Mr. Dighe Sahab. I believe that the people has to decide. The people has to decide on the ethics, the principles, the thoughts what Dighe Sahab used to be there. And just because of saying that someone is saying that I am the legal hire, I am going to take forward his legacy, it never happens as such. Because Dighe Sahab never did any advertisement about the thing or the work what he used to do. But his office, which is called as Ananda Ashram, he never put his name on it. But this is what Mr. Shinde did. Even he put up the name of his party. Now the common person who used to come over there, going beyond the caste, creed, religion, now the thing is only his party workers are over there. Secondary that the Navratri Utsav, the Ganpati Utsav, the Dahihandi Utsav, where the thought of Dighe Sahab was to get all the Thanekas together to celebrate this festival. But now you can see that this has been highlighted as Mr. Shinde is only doing that. So the founder who has done this is just on the image or on the banner.
Are you saying he's hijacked his legacy?
Hijacking is one way of thinking about it. But people are unhappy if you actually go to the crowd and understand what Dighe Sahab was. And Dighe Sahab was never restricted to one or two people. Dighe Sahab was and is and will be there in the hearts of every Thanekar, every people, every citizen of Thane city and the Palghar city.
Maharashtra for the election coverage on our show Poll Pulse. The idea is to actually capture the essence, the sentiment, the mood on ground, the colors, and the food tells you a lot about the culture and the people of a particular place. I am outside Mamledar Misal in Thane. If you're in Thane, you just cannot miss this. This was started in 1952 and there are no branches, says the man behind the desk inside Mamledar Missile. They are known for the spiciest, or how Maharashtrians like to call it, Zanzanit missile. I don't know how to put that in English, but let me take you inside and show you what missile is. Also take a look at the line right behind me. This is proof of how popular this place is. Not just the Aam Aadmi, but the A-listers of Bollywood and a lot of politicians are fans of this Mamledar missile. Let me take you inside. Let's see what the Mamledar missile is all about. Come. ये मीडियम है। तो मिसल पाव क्या होता है, जरा हमारे व्यूअर्स को बताएंगे जिनको नहीं पता है। मिसल पाव क्या, इसमें क्या क्या डालते हैं?
बटाटा भाजी, कांदा, बारीक शील.
So this is the misal that you see, the gravy. I've asked for medium because I can't eat their spicy version of misal pav. And then it has some namkeen here, as it is called farsan in Maharashtra, and it's had with pav. Now let me enjoy, and after I finish, I'll tell you how this misal was. Mahim constituency is garnering a lot of interest. Here the fight is between Sada Sarvankar of the Shinde Sena, who remember refused to withdraw his nomination, and Raj Thakre's son Amit Thakre. Now remember, you are absolutely right in thinking that the MNS is not part of the Mahayuti. But ever since Raj Thakre declared unconditional support for the Mahayuti, the BJP also came out openly in support of Amit Thakre. The pressure was mounting on Sada Sarvankar.
With Raj Thakre looking to expand his party's footprint in Maharashtra, the battle for Mahim is a crucial one for the MNS. Because in the electoral fray is his son, Amit Thakre, making his electoral debut in the assembly polls. The ruling alliance, including the BJP and some Shiv Sena leaders, expressed support for Amit Thakre, particularly after Raj Thakre extended unconditional backing to the Mahayuti during the recent Lok Sabha elections.
Sarvankar made last-ditch effort to meet Raj Thakre and to get him to support his candidature. But when Raj Thakre refused to meet him, Sada decided to continue his fight on his constituency, the Mahim constituency. We're now joined by Mr. Sada Sarvankar of the Shinde Sena. Remember, he's contesting from the Mahim constituency. He refused to withdraw his nomination, and here he is with us today. बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए सदा सरवनकर जी. आपने नॉमिनेशन अपना वापस नहीं लिया, अब आप मैदान में हैं और आपके सामने अमित ठाकरे हैं. थोड़ी देर पहले मैं उनसे बात कर रही थी तो उनका कहना है कि वो आपको हैवी वेट के तौर पर नहीं देखते हैं. आप इसका क्या जवाब देंगे?
मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि मतदाता जो है वो किसी का वेट क्या है वो नहीं देखते, किसी का नाम क्या है वो नहीं देखते, किसी ने क्या काम किया है वो देख रहे हैं. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि हमारे नेता एकनाथ जी शिंदे साहब, फडणवीस साहब और अजीत दादा और आठवले साहब
उनकी इच्छा थी कि ये अगर सीट के बारे में कोई अच्छा रास्ता निकल सके और एक उम्मीदवार जो एमएलए है जो महायुति का बढ़ जाए तो उनकी कोशिश थी। मैं उनको समझाया, कैलकुलेशन समझाया, क्योंकि मनसेने ने यहाँ जो हमारे समाज मुस्लिम समाज है उसमें बहुत नाराज़गी वाला काम किया है। उन्होंने दरगाह तोड़ दिया, ये तोड़ दिया, भोंगा उतार दिया और बहुत से सारे चीज़ें जिसकी वजह से मुस्लिम समाज नाराज़ है। यूपी बिहार वाले जो भाई साहब हैं उनके बारे में भी मारपीट करना, ये सारा चीज़ है, इसलिए वो समाज नाराज़ है। जैन समाज के खिलाफ भी सोसाइटी में जाके जो भी कुछ किया गया उससे वो लोग करीबन 2.5 लाख में से 1 लाख लोग ऐसे थे कि वो मनसेना को नहीं चाहते थे। यही बात जब भी हमने एकनाथ जी शिंदे साहब को समझाया तभी उन्होंने बोला आप जाके राज साहब को मिलिए, उनको समझाइए और वो जो आदेश देंगे वो आप फॉलो करो। मैं गया था लेकिन मुझे टाइम नहीं दिया, मिले नहीं। उन्होंने बता दिया मुझे किसी को मिलना नहीं, जिसको खड़ा रहना है वो रहने दो।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। दैट इज मिस्टर सदा सरवनकर who says that had Raj Thackeray told him to withdraw his nomination, he perhaps would have. The Mahim constituency in central Mumbai is also known for the prestigious Shivaji Park and the Sena Bhavan, which is right behind me. This is the headquarter of the undivided Shiv Sena. Now, many believe that it will not be an easy fight for Amit Thackeray. He is up against Sada Sarvankar, a 3-time MLA, and making the fight interesting is UBT's candidate Mahesh Sawant. Will Amit Thackeray be able to take on the heavyweights?
लोकप्रिय तरुण तरफदार उच्च शिक्षित उमेदवार अमित राजसाहेब ठाकरे प्रचंड बहुमताने विजय करा.
We're now joined by Amit Thackeray, who's contesting from the Mahim constituency. Let's talk to him. Thank you for giving us your time. It's a busy schedule. I can see you're campaigning, and this is a door-to-door campaign. Does this give you an advantage to have that personal touch? Better than the rally?
No, my campaign was always going to be door-to-door, regardless of who stands against me. So, yeah, this personal touch is what I thrive for, and the response that I'm getting is pretty overwhelming.
How confident are you? It's your electoral debut.
Confident as in I'm not nervous at all, because my intentions are clear, my focus is clear. I'm not here for politics, I'm just here for the people. So, I mean, it's pretty confident. I mean, hope they support me, but yeah.
How is the kind of response that you're getting from the people when you're interacting?
As I said, people are just calling me in. They just want me to enter the house. They have tears in their eyes, and it's really, I mean, everywhere I go, they're just feeding me something. So that's what keeping me on my legs. That's what keeping me walking, because this kind of campaign, this door-to-door thing can get pretty tedious. But because of the kind of response I'm getting, it's really it's helping me move forward.
Now, this battle has been intensified. It became all the more interesting when Mr. Sarvankar decided that he does not want to withdraw. He's made a lot of claims after that. What do you have to say about it?
I don't have anything to say about that, because I was not looking at him as competition, not in a bad way, but I really didn't care who was standing against me or not. I mean, my campaign was 100% fixed that I wanted to go to the people's door and just tell them what my vision is और मुझे क्या करना है, just मुझे उन तक पहुंचाना था. तो it really doesn't matter if he's standing or not. But I think this episode is over now. He is contesting, so we'll see who wins.
Now, he's a 3-time MLA. आप उनको heavyweight की तरह देखते हैं? Do you think he's a heavyweight?
नहीं देखता हूँ, क्योंकि अगर 10 साल काम नहीं किया है इसलिए आई थिंक ही हैज़ टू ऑप्ट फॉर सच काइंड ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स व्हाट ही इज डूइंग. सो मैं उनको हैवी वेट नहीं देखता हूँ, क्योंकि जो रिस्पांस लोगों से आ रहा है वो भी यही है कि 10 साल में कुछ नहीं हुआ. और मुझे लगता है 10 साल बहुत, उससे पहले मुझे लगता है हमारे नितिन सर थे, उससे पहले वो 5 साल थे, तो वैसे 15 साल होते. मुझे लगता है 15 साल बहुत बड़ा एक वक्त होता है. I mean, I'm 32 now. I mean, it's an entire generation that goes these 15 years, and if nothing is done in your area, I think it's a bit sad.
Okay, one last question before I let you go. What is that one issue that you're focusing on, and one promise that you're making to your voters?
I'm focusing on many issues and the promise is that मैं जो issues promise कर रहा हूँ आपको वो मैं करके दिखाऊंगा.
All right, thank you very much for giving us your time. Well, that was Amit Thackeray. He's contesting from the Mahim constituency. And he says he is extremely confident. Doesn't matter whoever is battling it out against him in the poll battle. Manse, Manse.
The Mahim Assembly seat is set to witness a fierce three-way fight, with the Mahayuti also locking horns with the MNS scion Amit Thackeray and Shiv Sena UBT, who will reign supreme in the battle for Mahim.